G'day, here we have some of the Ryobi One Plus range I've been collecting over the last couple of years. It started as an alternative to have some tools at home that were both affordable and available to avoid having to bring tools home from work all the time when I needed them. The DIY range covers automotive, bodywork, gardening, carpentry, a little bit of sparky work as well. I've really enjoyed the range and I just keep buying it. So if you're looking to buy, I'll go through my top 10, the pros and cons, and we'll talk about the difference between HP and standard range as well. We'll also talk about the price. Okay, when it comes down to the difference between the HP range and the standard range, other than the black versus the grey, the HP range is a little bit more expensive and aimed more at people who are going to use it every single day in a tradesman sort of position. They've got more efficient, more robust brushless motors in them, and they're just built to take on the more high-end products from other manufacturers. If you're a DIY and you're just going to use it on weekends, the standard range is more than fine, but if you want a little bit more, go for the HP range. Okay, let's kick this off with my favorite tool. This is 1/2" rattle gun. It's actually my newest tool as well, I've just bought it. There's a heap of rattle guns in the range. This is the smallest HP rattle gun there is. I like the compact size and I like the design. It's very, very cool. And obviously HP still use the same batteries as all the rest of the One Plus range. It's all the same battery. We come with 3 LEDs here. We've got 3 speeds. We also have an auto mode. In auto mode, let me put this large socket on here, will automatically kick the rattle gun out once it senses that it's had the impact action. So if we hold the trigger down, it automatically shuts off, so you don't strip any bolts or break anything if you're doing something delicate, aluminium and that sort of stuff, which I think is very cool. Other than that, it is the smallest of the range, like I said, the lowest torque. As you get bigger, they get heavier and longer, but your torque increases, as does the price as well. These retail for about $269 Australian, and I'm very happy with it. It's a great little tool, and it's going to get me through most of the jobs I need to do. Okay, number 2, on the other end of the spectrum, this is the oldest tool I got. It's the very first Ryobi tool I bought. It's a hammer drill. It's the standard of the range. It's been around for years and years and years, and it just keeps going hard. It's got a keyless chuck up to 13 mil. It's a hammer drill, so we've got a hammer function on here, and we've got drill function, and then we've got our 10 clutch positions for driving in screws with a 2-speed gearbox. Pretty much does everything I need it to do. It's got a little bit holder at the front, and it just keeps going hard. It's been hammered its whole life. I've definitely not looked after it, and it just keeps going. Very, very happy with this tool, and these don't retail for much at all. So next up, we've got the multi-tool. It's not a tool I've ever owned before. It's very interesting. Basically, it's got a head on the end of here that oscillates backwards and forwards very quickly and basically vibrates. So you can use things like a sanding pad here if you're sanding an area or on a side here. Very handy for that sort of stuff. It also comes with different bits. So a bit like this, I've used a lot for removing tiles off a wall or cutting a brick out of a brickwork. Very good for that. And you can obviously mount that in any position so you can get in. And it comes with another one just like this. That's what's part of the standard kit, and there's all sorts of different tools you can buy for that. Interesting, a tool like this would use if you're cutting a cast off a broken arm. It only vibrates, so it will cut the cast, but it actually won't cut the skin, which is very good. It's basically the tool they use to do that job. Comes with a 6-speed, and it sounds a bit like this. That's on speed number 1, and that moves all the way up much faster, the other way. Little LED light to see where you're working, and the Allen key is part of the handle, which is very, very cool. I've used it a lot, wasn't very expensive. If you do buy the upmarket model, it does have a swivel head if you need to get into different places, but this has worked just fine for me since I've bought it. Okay, next up is the die grinder. You can use it as a polisher, all sorts of different things. Part of the HP range, and it is very new to me as well. Comes with 4 speeds. So we can go slow if you want to polish or buff or anything, all the way up to speed number 4, which is 22,000 RPM if you're using a carbide burr or something like that to round out a hole or anything you need to do there. It's 1/4" standard receiver, so anything that's 1/4" will go in there. You could probably change it out for a 1/8", but it doesn't come with one. It's got a lock on here, so we can basically use one spanner to undo it. It does come with a spanner as well. And it comes with a little LED light as well. Much quieter than the air style ones I'm used to using, with straight and right angle ones. And it's very nice, you can regulate the speed. For 99 bucks Australian, very good value. That's skin only, of course, no battery. But yeah, very happy with it, and I'm going to use that a lot, I reckon. Next up, we've got the 3/8 electric ratchet. Very handy bit of tool to get in them tight spaces. Once you've got the bolt loose, move it out. This has got a bit of power about it compared to the other ones like this. This one has a lot more breakout force, but of course, the battery is huge. You've got a lot more flexibility with something this size, but a bit more power with this. And I think Ryobi were aware that their battery was a little bit restrictive because they added a swivel head. So if the battery's in your way, you can turn the ratchet and turn the head, which no other manufacturers seem to issue because they probably don't need to. They also utilize this big battery pocket here to give us a little 3/8 extension. That's part of the kit. You do get that with it. When you couple it with a 6 amp hour battery, it's very powerful, but it's also quite heavy and very big. Dual LEDs, because obviously the head swivels. Very good. I enjoy it very much. Maybe just a little bit bulky at this end. And next up, we've got the air inflation kit. Now, this is probably my most used tool outside of the shed in the home for blowing up motorbike tires and basketballs and footballs and stuff when you're out and about camping. It's very good. Comes with an attachment to do exactly that. And it comes with another attachment just for blowing air if you need to pressure test something. And it comes with a pressure gauge on the back there so you know what sort of pressure you're inflating the tire to. It's not going to blow up four-wheel drive tires. I've blown up car tires with it before, but it takes a while and it gets quite warm. There are different kits for that. You can get the Ryobi air compressor kit, you can get a tire inflation kit, and they even do an air pump kit for blowing up things like a mattress or something like that when you're camping. This is purely for blowing up push bike, motorbike tires, stuff like that, and it does it very well. I use it a lot and I'm very happy with it. Okay, next up we've got the 5-inch angle grinder. Now, I went for the HP range because I knew I was going to be using it all the time, and I certainly do. I go very hard with this. I use it every day if I could. Now, it's got the ergonomic handle as well. The standard range doesn't have this type of trigger, and this is the workplace safety standard nowadays anyway. It's got a 3 position for the handle, which is really handy. We can change it around. It's got the quick release guard. So you push the little guard trigger and we can move it wherever we need to. Like I said, it takes a 5-inch disc. It comes with a secondary guard too if you're using a cutoff wheel or anything like that. It's also got a quick release here. You just twist this here and you can remove the disc and clips out of the way as required, no tool needed. It's also got soft start, which is pretty good. So when you start it up, yeah, very nice. It's a good bit of equipment. I use it all the time. My only con with it is if you don't have the guard in the right spot, it'll actually melt this little landing here for the battery, and I've melted that a bit by using it. But just direct your sparks away. You shouldn't have too many dramas with that. Most other manufacturers tilt their battery a little bit out of the way of the sparks, but other than that, it goes very good. I use it a lot. It's been very reliable. Okay, next we've got the soldering iron. Now, not a tool I use that much. I do a little bit of soldering here and there, but it's not something we do all the time. It comes with changeable tips, so you can use it for heating other things up. But basically, it's a pretty basic soldering iron. You press this button, it's flashing to tell you that it's heating up. Once the light goes solid, it's time to solder. I don't use it much, but it's been very good when I need it. You can put it anywhere. No naked flames or anything like that. You don't need to fill it up with butane or anything like that. You just plug it in and away you go. You've got a soldering iron to use. Pretty efficient on the batteries. I've never really needed to change a battery or anything using it. It just goes hard. Next up, we've got the circular saw. Very good bit of equipment. It's something I use all day or I won't use for months. It's the kind of job that it does. Comes with the blade from factory from Ryobi. You've got an angle option here so you can cut miters with it. So if we loosen that off, we can change the deck and cut miters and joins and all that sort of stuff up to 56 degrees. It comes with this handy bit of equipment here. So we can basically measure out a distance and lock it off, which is very good. And it comes with this here so we can cut depth. Like most circular saws, you can cut all the way from 0 all the way down to 52 mil deep. So it'll cut you 52 mil deep. So that's how it's designed. Comes with an Allen key here for changing the saw out. You can put any saw you want in there. Pretty standard sort of a bit of equipment, but I use it all the time. Best used with a big battery, the 6 amp or the 5 amp hour battery. But yeah, very good. Every time I need to use it, it's there. The price is right. It goes very well. Okay, lastly for our top 10 here, we've got lighting. Now I put lighting into a big group together because I've got the tripod light here that I'm using right now for this, which is very good. You can fold it up, store it away, take it with you if you're going camping or something like that and you need mobile lighting, very good. I've also got the string lights in the shed, very handy. You can use them for an outdoor event temporarily, or you can put them in your shed like I've got here. If you've got no power in your area that you need lighting, very, very handy. They come in a set of 3. And I've also got these 2 here. We've got a light that I just use working on cars It's very good. It's got a twizzle head. There's not much I can really say about it, but very handy, very efficient. I use my smallest battery on that one. And I've got this one here that we use when you go camping or something like that. It's very powerful, long distance, and it's got 2 modes as well. This one also has a jack that you can plug into a cigarette lighter. If you do go camping somewhere in your car, you can have it whenever you need to use for lighting. It's very good. All of these things I've been talking about today, they do run the same Ryobi One Plus battery. It's been the same for years, the same idea. The technology's moved forward, but the design of the cartridge hasn't. So they'll fit anything Ryobi One Plus made in the last decade, really. I've got the 6 amp here, 5 amp, the 2.5 amp, and the 1.5 amp. The only difference with the 1.5 amp is it does not have the fuel gauge, but it's okay. I use it for my small lighting, very small use, small draw, current draw items, very, very handy for that. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's my top 10 Ryobi tools that I've bought and I use every single day. Very happy with them. Bit of a bonus one, my Ryobi lawnmower. There's a video of it here. Very, very happy with it. It's been 6 months since I bought it and it just keeps going hard every day. I use it all the time and it just goes really well. That sort of expands into the gardening side of things a bit more, but that's a bit of a special mention there for that one. Other than that, I hope this has helped you out making your decision. I'm very happy with the tools. I've never had any issue with them. I think they're good value for money. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching.